let's see where we're at. All right, so we're creating this little tiny flower. We've got some micro scroll in there. You probably can't see it. It's traced out just barely. Um, Really, I'm trying to practice just hand control. I've missed some of my tracing lines, which is fine. It still looks good, but really going with a lot less power today. A lot lighter engraving, still bright cuts because that's my love for engraving is bright cuts. So we are attempting to do the best we can. Um, so yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I know that I don't have the best macro camera right now because I'm using my iPhone, but hopefully you guys get an idea of what I'm doing here. All right, let's see where we're at. We're gonna do some micro scroll now. Oof, I don't like that spiral. That was a horrible spiral. I don't like that engraving. Well, it's tiny, but still. When I say tiny, it's tiny for me because I don't. A lot of my engraving is very bold, so this takes a lot of patience for me. Should be broken off the tip. A lot of these micro stuff, like sometimes for me, I end up getting lazy, and sometimes I'll use a laser for it because I get lazy. But truthfully, this is really good practice, for me at least. All right, guys, don't judge me on that circle. That was not very nice circle. Oh man, that's horrendous. Try to clean it up a bit because it looks horrible. Going more bold with the outer circle just to try to fix some of the deformities that I put in there accidentally because I'm a big brute and I don't take care of it. So yeah, that's some very, very tiny scroll in there, at least for me. So I don't know if you can catch the reflection and see it, but yeah, I really enjoy trying new things, and this is something that's out of my comfort zone because it's not as bold. To give you an idea of just how bold I go with stuff, like here's something else that I usually do. Brighten it up. So this is usually how bold I'm going versus this tiny stuff in here. So very different engraving for me, but very good experience. Very good for me to learn. Yeah, see, like this is the kind of stuff I mainly do. And yeah, old school. As far as what is it, it's just a practice plate. Honestly, this is just a practice plate. Nothing fancy. These are brass grips for 1911 that I was engraving. But this right here, this is just practice. Control touch and just doing what all the pros tell me to do so I can get better, because I am not great by any means, and we are just out here trying to get better. Now we're going to go ahead and add some shading lines to these leaves. Okay, we've got the main leaf stem in the middle, and from here we'll go ahead and just start adding some shading. Super light. This is where I falter, especially in my gun engravings, is I end up going really bold, which is fine for my style, but I'd like to learn new styles. And this is something that I need to learn. Now what these stems and the shading is going to start doing, it's going to start to add dimension into the leaves. And that's what we're going for. And we're adding these stems, we're wanting to go, I mean, when you look at a leaf outside, that's really, I'm trying to make it as quote unquote realistic and abstract at the same time. All right, let me make sure my graver's still nice, sharp, and polished. And this is my practice for today. So I try to do anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour of practice per day. And sometimes my practice actually includes real projects that I've got going on. But today, we are just practicing on a random piece of metal. This is just mild steel that you can pick up from like Home Depot or Lowe's. So yeah. You start to see some of the dimensions that we're putting up in there. And we're adding some geometry to this this drawing. Now this was a hand-designed one by me. I drew it kind of just out of nowhere, just to practice my leaf designs. Now I meant it to be oak leaf, but I posted it up on some engraving sites on Facebook, and someone's like, well, that doesn't really look like an oak leaf. And granted, it might be a weird oak leaf or vine leaf or whatever it might be, but it's a leaf. And this leaf is basically made this way in this design almost as petals. So it's almost like a flower petal. So we're just adding some dimension now. Again, guys, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your support. It means a lot. This is very time consuming. And if I have some fellow gravers on here, please feel free to comment. Give me some tips. I love constructive criticism. And if you're looking up at how to take on like hand graving, there are some awesome courses online. Look up Sam Alfano. Look up Luke. What is it? Sorry, Lane Zolke. Lane Zolke, Sam Alfano, Ken Hunt. He's like the godfather of engraving. Man, he has some beautiful artwork. So look him up. He is somebody that I really look up to when it comes to engravings. All right, so now that we've got our basic leaf dimension, we're going to go ahead and start adding some shading over it and creating almost like a burst out effect. See that right there? That's what we're looking to do right there. Just creating some shading towards the middle of the blossom. Oof, missed that one by that much. She looks pretty good. Couple more lines right here to give that some effect of being under the other petal. And guys, again, this is all practice, so. So if I mess up here, that's fine. I learn from it. I haven't started taking any personal commissions at all because I'm just not good enough yet. And obviously I compare myself to, you know, some of these wild pros, man. Like, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm never going to be that good. And perhaps I never will be. But hopefully I feel comfortable taking on some commissions in a couple months. I do stuff on my own though, create my own art, and I go to sell it. And if people like it, great. If they don't like it, well, no harm, no foul. They can go pound sand. I'm just joking, but yeah, I mean that's kind of how art is, right? It's depicted by the artist. All right. Bam, thank you very much. Yes, I try to do a little bit of art. This is what I call art. You know, this is what I call real art. And whether you're doing it on a firearm, a knife, a piece of metal, whatever it might be. Heck, a painting is real art. You know, I call all that real art, and that's just my own depiction and my own opinion. And there's other things that I call art as well. But I still can't understand that one art piece that sold for like millions of dollars. What was that, banana? Whatever, at that art gallery. I can't wrap my head around it. Maybe it's just me being ignorant, but I couldn't wrap my head around it. I just couldn't. We're gonna go ahead and, you know, that first petal that I did, I might have screwed that up because right now I like how this is looking, except that first petal I did basically makes it look like it's behind it, like it's one of the petals that's behind, which what I'm doing right now is really what I should have been doing all along. Is the petals that are depicted as being behind the other petal should have been my main focus. And now the geometry looks a little bit off. It's fine. It's just you an idea right here. Keep on keeping on. Okay. I'll add some more shading here. I mean, the shading on the bottom of these leaves still looks okay. Still adds some quote-unquote depth. It's just, I think it's kind of becoming a little too busy for my liking. I should have kept it more simple. Talking about busy and still like being amazing is, if you guys have a minute, go and look up Jeff Park. Look at his engravings. They are wild. I mean, they are insanely good. I don't know how he's so good. Those are the kind of guys that I aspire to be. I mean, his designs are so complicated, geometrically, design-wise, and everything about it. Just insane amount of skill and artwork and talent, just all in one. Hey guys, any fellow engravers on here, please comment. Give me any constructive criticism you think is due. If you're not a fellow engraver, that's totally fine. Please subscribe, like, comment, share my stuff. All right, look at that. Good at doing that. Okay. All right, now that we're there, we're gonna go ahead and I'd like to add a background. Gonna see, how do we want to make this background pop a little bit? We're gonna go ahead and to create a line background. I'm gonna go ahead and up my a little bit more power. We're gonna go a little bit deeper on that background. What we're gonna do is the background, as you see here, here, we're gonna go ahead and just draw just lines, just horizontal lines, vertical lines, however you want to see it. And then if I don't like that, then we're going to go ahead and do a crosshatch. And what the crosshatch will do is it'll just add more separation, so the petals kind of pop out more. The petals, I said petals or leaves or whatever you want to call them, will pop out more. So we'll go ahead and start with a single line. And what I'm going to do is, just to keep it geometrically correct, is I'm going to add some reference lines so I can do this somewhat correctly. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and grab. Gotta find a pencil, guys. Or actually, you know what? We're gonna use this to just kind of mildly scratch it. It gives us a pretty good idea of and this is just I'm just kind of doing this by what I think looks right. On a real project, I would suggest probably using something that measures it. a caliper per se usually works. Okay, here we go. Got our first line right here. We'll go ahead and start to see that kind of create some separation right there. We'll keep on doing that real fast. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna remark these out because I wasn't happy with how that looked. Still kind of hard to see under the... I say I'm gonna remark that, but I'll find something that's actually hard enough to scratch it. There we go. Lines right there. And do this again. If you guys can't tell, I basically ditched the reference line, so I'm kind of winging it at this point right here. At this point, I'm hoping that my eye can basically make it look good enough. If you're just tuning in, guys, I appreciate all the support. Thank you. We're just practicing on a practice plate today. If you guys are quickly scrolling through, please just subscribe, like the video, and share, or just subscribe. Really, I'm cool with just subscribing, so just subscribe. Appreciate that. I'm happy with that. Okay, let's go to this other side. Really, one of the great things about this piece of metal that I've got here, it's kind of giving me its own line. It's got some natural metal grain to it, I guess, from the factory. So it's kind of letting me follow some sort of reference for a straight line. Or else I might be all crooked. Go a little bit more definition and outline of the petals themselves, and that's what we're trying to break out. We're trying to break out the petals from the background and go from there. What I'm doing here is it's just a lined background. There's different types of backgrounds people use: dot punching, stippling. Some room up here with negative space that I don't want. Okay. All right, we've to fill in some of the good. Good there. Alright, we're just about done with this practice piece. I'm not going to go too in depth with this practice piece just because it was a practice piece. So there we go. We'll go ahead and add a ink or something black in there just to kind of give it some definition so you guys can kind of see it a little bit better. Personally, I like how it looks right now. Let me go ahead and take it off and I'll show it to you a little closer on the camera itself. All right, let's see. So that gives you an idea of what we were doing there. And we'll go ahead and add that ink and go from there, man. Sounds like somebody messaged me. Give me a second while I look. Let's see what we got to give it some definition. I'm going to use some antique from leather working. Black antique. There it is. All right. So we're literally just going to use some antique finish. This isn't technically what we want to use. This is just something I have on hand. Usually I'd like to use ink, Rust-Oleum. In fact, I thought I had my Rust-Oleum around here, but I can't find it right now. And it's not a big deal. We'll just go ahead and use the antique. We can always go in there, clean it out, and put some other finish to it. Okay, let's see. Thank you for commenting. What a skill. It's something that's coming along. Not quite where I want it to be yet, but it's slowly getting there. Slowly. All right, so we're just going to dab it on. Okay, dry enough for me. All right. Now we literally just grabbed some old newspaper. Gives it a little bit more definition. It's still not as good as I'd like. Let me go ahead and see what I can add. Still not super happy with how that's looking right now, guys, so apologize. Usually it looks better. All right, there we go. That gives you a little bit better idea, guys. This is what we've got going on today. Thank you for tuning in. Did you go to any schooling for this? No, I didn't actually. No, I just like art, and I'm still a beginner, man. I am not great by any means. So this is something that I've picked up on my own time on the side, and I use laser, I use hand engraving. I just like art in general. I doodle on I say doodle. I have an art book, and I do all my art in the art book. So yeah, I do all that stuff, and I've just always loved art, and I've done everything from like woodworking, a little bit of metal work here and there. Heck, I like doing 3D prints. 3D printing is awesome for art as well. Nowadays, there's so much information online that if you want to learn something, it's just a matter of you wanting to learn, and you don't even have to go to school. I went to school for nutrition and dietetics, and some military science, and I don't do anything with that now just because it's not my passion. It wasn't my passion at all then. Well, I say it was my passion. It was, my passion was working out and helping people, and that was great for a while, and then it just got kind of boring, and I decided to look for something that really makes me happy, and this makes me happy. So goldsmith, awesome. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, if you're a goldsmith, truthfully, you can learn all this hand engraving, and gold is super nice to engrave on because it's so soft. You don't need these really expensive. These are expensive tips right here. Just this portion, this metal piece right here. Not even this. Just this was $40. So it was not a cheap piece of metal, and that's because it's some type of metal that GRS has come up with. And yeah, if you're a goldsmith, you're on your way to learning. Just go ahead and pick up a piece of metal and start scratching away. Let's see. Oh man, I don't want to say your name wrong, but Mana, I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate the comment. So yeah, hopefully you guys liked it. This is gonna do what we're gonna do for today. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'll see you next time. I like to go live about twice a week if I can. And hopefully next time we've got another piece of art going. Thank you. Bluman. Okay, no, I'm actually not. I'm using the pulse graver. I haven't tried the GRS air graver. I have heard great things about it. I've heard great things about the Steve Lindsay air graver. The GRS is the one that I've heard a lot of people really love. But I use a pulse graver just because I don't have to deal with a compressor. So it does it through, I think it's a magnet. Basically, it creates the pulse to simulate a hammer. All right, guys, take care. Until next time.